Now, we have been exposing horrible tattoo artists on our show for quite a long time now, and thanks so much to all the viewers that send in their leads and suggest artists to us. And once in a while, though, we come across an artist where maybe they have some decent work in their portfolio, but they also have some horrible work. So I'm going to need you guys' help with this one. This one's going to be a choose-your-own adventure. Stick around. Hello, welcome to the show. This is Hack Hunter, where we review some of the best and worst tattoo artists in your cities. This week we're heading out to Louisiana because I came across an artist who, he had some pretty decent stuff, but at the same time had some pretty horrific stuff. So stick around for the artwork of Tattoo Tracy. Now, you can find him working at Wicked13 Tattoos, and he is actually also an owner there. So if you want to check him out on Instagram, Wicked13 Tattoos on Instagram. And if you want to find his Instagram, Tattoo_Tracy, where, like I said, he is the owner and artist of Wicked13 Tattoos. So definitely do your own research, check it out for yourself, guys, but let me show you what I found. Boom, gotta start with this one because, my god, it is jacked. Now, this was one of the more obvious ones to me, okay? Stringy, thin lines throughout this whole thing. He didn't change line weights, not much of a light source in it, just blurry, blotchy mess, okay? It's not a really cohesive, well-planned out piece. And I think I see this in a lot of artist portfolios that we put on the show, is where they use the same line weight throughout, and they don't really pre-plan their designing process, where they're gonna put what colors or how they're gonna blend them. They just kind of get started, and I think that's what I see here. He outlined the whole thing with just one simple outliner, and then he just kind of put blotchy shading and colored patches in there and was hoping it would turn out good. But man, there's just so many places where it's really incohesive, where he definitely did not plan it out too well, and it shows. So this was one of the worst ones. This one also, I was really disappointed to see this person with a half sleeve here, but for some reason these are the most elementary, simple, cartoony doves that I've ever seen. There's plenty of room here for them to have nice detail in their wings, small texture detail in their feathers, and he just didn't do that, and I'm really kind of surprised to see that. Another thing, it just really chaps my ass, is when I see artists that do this light rays like this, but they outline it. You see how he outlined them? And look, in a lot of places he didn't even get up to his outline when it came to shading them. I think light rays look a lot better when you don't outline them and you just shade around them. Then they give that sense of a light is emanating from somewhere. When you outline them, they just look like empty bars. And these ones are just kind of shooting through different random places. They're not even like cohesive or make any sense. Where's the light coming from? I don't know. But again, we see the same thing with the line work. Just one thin liner throughout the whole thing. He didn't use bold lines in some places. He didn't use thinner lines in other places. None of that. Just one simple outline, and then the same thing with the shading. He used the basic same like two tones throughout this whole thing. Black and medium gray. That's all he used. And we see that all the time in different portfolios, and I hate to see that kind of laziness throughout. And here we're seeing just gaps in lines and lines not connecting in places. And these flowers are just as simple as it gets. Really, really easy to draw, easy to tattoo kind of flowers. He really doesn't go above and beyond with these designs at all. Now, here's one that I'm going to give him a little bit of credit for, because this would have been a nightmare for any artist to try to attempt covering up. This woman has some really bad scarring. It looks like maybe it's from an old tattoo where an artist really just shredded the hell out of her skin, and then she went and got it lasered. But I give him props for attempting it, but I don't know. Looks like kind of a jumbled mess. Look at the white work down here. This is not over-scarring down here, and it's still just really poorly applied. You can tell he used a thicker liner where it has many needles in the grouping, and you can see each one of those little needles stringing along here, instead of nice, bold, thick white line there like he anticipated it being. And we see that even in his black outlines, you can see that it's not smooth, it's not clean at all. And yeah, the color fill-in, I saw it in a lot of places. He just wouldn't get up to the line. You see that light green? Doesn't get up to the line, doesn't get up to the line, doesn't get up to the line, all over the place. And for an artist that's been tattooing that long, to not be able to know where the tips of their needles are, and to control it well, and to be able to get up to the edge of the line cleanly and easily, that is a major red flag if you ask me, guys. This one, again, the color work, jumbled mess. He tried to color a flag back here and make it wavy and make it kind of dynamic looking, but it just looks blotchy as all hell. Look at this, just chunk of black right there. It doesn't fade from black to dark blue to light blue. It's just black and then medium blue. It's really kind of, yeah, you could tell again, it's not his forte. All of this color looks very, very patchy. Overworked in some areas, underworked in other areas. So the consistency is just way, way off. And then I'm really confused why he would do a black outline of the crease in the cheek there. If you're going to use black outlines in a portrait, then you would think you'd use them all over the place. But just one black outline in the face there, it's sort of strange. I don't get it. And then these cards down here, the tarot cards, definitely, again, has trouble getting up to the lines. Look at that. Ugh. And then the lovers here. Why does it look like this dude's about to murk this dude right here? They do not look like lovers to me. Really, really kind of strange design on that one. Really weird execution as well. But then, you guys, then I come across this, and this portrait is pretty well done. It's not bad at all. Now, I can tell white work, again, is not his forte, because look at all this nice white here. But when I go over and look at how well it healed, that white's barely there. The contrast, the cleanness, the focus of it, it's just not there anymore after it healed. But for the rest of it, the eyes look nice and round, well shaded. The mouth looks good. The nose could have a better edge on it right here, just to kind of clean it up, make it look a little crisper. But overall, yeah, he took his time and he put the detail in the hair. All the white disappeared. But still, overall, this looks like it healed okay. It looks like it was well done. So I really can't complain much about this one. And I was shocked to see something of this quality from somebody that we were seeing such bad quality out of in other places. Here's another one that was a pretty decent piece. He covered up this little dolphin over here, and look, the color looks pretty solid here. He colored outside the lines there. Not sure why you would do that. And then there's some places where he overlapped the lines. Oh no, so there's some really small errors when I zoom in close, but overall, this one did not look as bad as his other ones either. I would definitely not call this hack work. There's a few little errors, but I wouldn't call it a hack. Here's another one where it looked okay. He's still struggling with that white, and some of the background shading, you can see here how kind of choppy that looks. It looks like he kind of rushed that in there and just whipped it in rather than smoothing it out and creating a nice fade. But overall, the color looks a lot more solid. The blending's a little better in some of these places. So yeah, not the worst thing I've ever seen. I saw a couple of flags, though, in his portfolio that were just haggard because, man, trust me, guys, if you have a cover-up that's really dark like this, got some heavy black in it, don't try to use white stars to cover it up because it'll be pretty obvious when it's all said and done. That black is going to shine through 100%. Another problem I have is with how he designed the stars up here, this area. It does not look like the stars are naturally kind of flowing and bending with the flag. They all just kind of look randomly placed and randomly warped. And I saw that again in another flag that he did. Again, look at this star. Why is that star bent? It looks like there should be a wrinkle that comes right down the middle of the flag right here that would bend that star that way, but there's not. So again, a lot of kind of poor planning I saw and poor execution when it came to some things. And look at this blue. The blue is just very, very patchy. It's strange to me why this does not look like he planned it at all. It was just kind of rushed in there. And yeah, I'm not a fan of how he blended this gray wash off color either. This is something that I've complained about in past episodes. All you artists out there and all you clients, you cannot blend color with gray wash. You're just going to muddy up the color. You can blend color off of black. That works just fine. But you cannot blend it off of gray wash or it'll just muddy it up and dilute it and it won't look quite as vibrant. And a lot of artists that weren't trained or don't have an experienced teacher that taught them how to blend colors better and make them look 3D, they tend to think that that's the way to do it. You make the shadows first and then you color over the shadows. But that is not the way you do it. Trust me. Now, here's another one, a little P. Maloney for you guys, and I think, again, he did a pretty decent job. There's a couple errors here and there, like this eye looks a little bit bigger than this eye, a little wonky. I had to check his reference, and no, it doesn't look like his eye is that wonky in the real photo, so I wasn't really sure why that came out that way. But overall, this is not bad. This looks pretty clean. It could be better. It's not the best we've ever seen, I'm not saying that, but it's decent, and it's a far cry from the other work that I was seeing in his portfolio. So yeah, I'm going to end it on this one, and I'm going to let you guys tell me what you think down in the comments below. But yeah, this whole back piece he did, and I give him kudos for being able to compile such a large back piece, but man, all these characters look a little off, don't they? That Hulk looks a little off. Groot definitely looks a little off. You can tell he was not quite sure how to blend colors when it came to the gold of Iron Man's mask. Every single one of these characters is large, but they don't have small detail in them. It's all just very large, obvious, simplified detail. And that, aside from Groot, I suppose, he did texture in the bark on Groot there. But all the other ones, you can see their suits are just large fill-in. There's no real texture to be had, and that's kind of a disappointment to me. I think, yeah, when you're doing something this large, you can do much, much better detail than this here. And so I'm going to leave it to you guys. I personally think Tattoo Tracy is going to end up on our hack list. And the reason why is because even if he does some things good, some things bad, I still think if you're doing some large work like that on a client, they ask you for something specific, you should be able to do it and do it well. And if you can't, you should be turning them down. And so there was just too many errors and too many mistakes in his portfolio for me to be able to recommend him. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and stick around. We're going to find you guys a really great artist that I can recommend out there in Louisiana. All right, see you in the next one. Bye-bye.